what's going on? Legional here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to our Daily Gaming XP Grind, episode 125. So let's go ahead and grab some rune crafting potions as well as some of these. I guess we don't need all of them, but we'll bring them anyway. So let's go ahead and go here. I did mine those, and then we did mine these. It's these we did not mine. So let's go ahead and make sure we pop our potions. And if you didn't already know, we're going to be working on rune crafting. So, we've got quite a bit to mine. And we really want to collect this. Obviously, we're trying to keep away from quite a million XP. But we want to have the resources to get that completed when it comes time to decide to actually turn the essence into runes. And we're really close to a million XP. I think we only need, I think it's 40,000 XP, which actually is not that much. So it's just going to take a little bit of determination and willpower, and we'll have a million rune crafting XP. And then, obviously, if you've seen some of my later recent videos, we've been working on cooking quite a bit. And it's actually really interesting because I never thought I would have a million cooking XP. And surprisingly, because of the changes to the game, really primarily cooking, that might be possible now. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit more resources than just for each different cooking recipe. But for the most part, I think that ultimately it's going to be better. It does take more resources, so there's going to be lots of collecting involved. But that's quite alright. I'm not sure dirty water even makes sense anymore now that there's been so many changes. I mean, I suppose there are some secondaries that you can collect, and it does give quite a bit of XP, but it would take quite a bit of time to collect all the secondaries. But obviously, we do a lot of things where those secondaries are going to be around quite a bit. So I do think we're still going to use the clean water we've already made, but we're probably not going to make any more clean water because obviously it takes a considerable amount of time, and I just don't think that's the right approach. But there's lots of chickens out right now, and I really want to take advantage of that. So let's go ahead and knock these out and then go get those chickens because we want more eggs, as that's an important ingredient in different recipes as well. So obviously I'm also grateful that they decided to do this because I don't think chickens used to drop eggs. I'm like 99% sure. And so the use of the chicken is now actually far greater. And they also drop feathers. So obviously we haven't opened up all of our goblin packs, but we will eventually. And then that will allow us to use a lot more of our clean water. But we're not going to be doing that quite yet. We're waiting because obviously we believe that there are going to be seeds for farming inside. I think birds' nests also give feathers as well. I'm not sure if it's goblin packs actually that give feathers, but we're waiting because obviously I think it makes the most sense to wait. You're going to get the most out of it, especially if seeds are a part of it. Obviously, goblin packs also contain quorum, so I think just waiting makes the most sense because if you wait, you're going to get the most out of it. But obviously, some people don't want to wait to open those up, and that's fine too. But the whole thing is, a lot of those resources you can collect quite easily. So it just makes sense to wait a little bit and sort of see what happens. It's not the end of the world, and I've got all these red berries here. I sort of grabbed and then just dropped on the ground, which is quite weird. But making great progress in the game, and just got to keep pushing forward. Obviously, it all takes a little bit of time, and just getting at it, right? Logging in for the day and making an attempt to sort of accomplish all these things that we want to do in the game. So, obviously, being able to blast these is very helpful. Saves quite a bit of time. And I'm not quite sure how close I'm going to get to the goal with just hitting the lodestones that I've currently got by order of Renaissance, but I imagine I'll get quite close. So, going to be beneficial, absolutely beneficial. So, Let's go ahead and go to another one. So much rune essence. I mean, I've had bigger piles because obviously sometimes I would wait such a larger amount of time before actually collecting all the rune essence. But what starts to happen is it gets a little bit brutal as in regards to basically how much time you've spent doing it. And I'm actually going to be I've said this before, but I'm going to be so happy once I have a million rune crafting XP, as much as I like RuneScape Dragonwilds and certain skills in the game. Ultimately, rune crafting is like, I mean, they could change it, right? They could make it fun somehow. Obviously, I'm not saying it's not fun, but when you've done it as much as I have, it's sort of lost it's sort of lost its appeal to me, running around mining just insane amounts. So I may already have level 99. I've talked about that quite a bit. I don't want to get too far into it, but basically we don't know what level 99 is going to require, and I would imagine that I'm already there though. It is a survival game, so that's something to keep in mind. And I feel that I'm very close, if not there. So this is another bad thing, that the rune essence sort of rolls down the hill, and then you've got to chase all of it, which is extremely inefficient and not great. But I like the realistic aspect of it, actually, though. How it sort of rolls down the hill, I think that makes sense. It's not fun to chase it all, but it does make sense. So let's go ahead, and there's so many cows, and I hate leaving all the cows because they obviously have got meat and other resources that could be beneficial, but obviously that all takes time to sort of do everything. And that's another problem, is when you are a mass collector of resources and different things, you sort of you're constantly distracted and pulled away from what you're trying to work on in the game, and it just becomes hard to sort of focus on the one thing you're trying to do. There's so much rune essence down there, but I'm not going to go get all of it. It's just going to take too much time. We can get it another time, or potentially behind the scenes. I'm not sure yet. So now we're being hunted. So I don't see. There we go. I was trying to find out where they were, but there's a lot of work to be done. Really excited about it. Just got to keep putting pressure on it and getting results. Obviously, I'm trying to take up a time frame right now for Fellhallow. I suppose it's October, November. I guess we're like a month, like a little bit more than a month and a half away. So it's actually quite crazy. Obviously, I'm not going to say it came fast because time does go fast, but I'm really anticipating this update. And so once it comes to the game, it's going to make things quite crazy. I'm going to be spending a ridiculous amount of time on a game. So I'm really excited about that. Farming's going to be incredible. And all my cool little plants I'm going to get to make. Hopefully the seeds are in the Bird's Nest Garou packs and Goblin packs, as well as future packs that monsters are potentially going to drop. I'm not sure if the skeletons drop packs, because it seems, I mean, I guess that so makes sense to goblins and garus, right? They're sort of hunters, but I don't know if they're going to drop packs, the skeletons, because I don't know if that would quite make sense. But let's go ahead and take another potion, because that did wear off and we're losing XP for that. And we'll just take another one of these because that's kind of not quite run out, but I don't want to forget. So ultimately, I guess those are the things to look at, right? What are they going to drop? Is it obviously it's going to be very close to the same thing every time, like it is with other creatures. But is it going to be a pack? Is it sort of going to be some sort of stone that you can crush? I think that's going to be very interesting to see what the drops are. They're probably going to drop something very important to crafting gear, potentially. Maybe like a new set of armor. That would actually be quite cool. So, just going to be very interesting. If you look at it in relatable to gear, like, obviously we've got fur right now. Well, I guess no. The skeletons don't quite drop, I'm sorry, the Garou don't quite drop anything that is like to make gear. So, it's possible that they're not going to actually drop anything that gives gear. Look at all that rune essence. I've got to go get it. It's actually so much more than I realized. But yes, so the Garou don't really drop anything relative to gear except the pack, which contains, I believe, coarse animal fur, which you can use to do different things. But those gears are very low level, so I wonder if they're going to drop anything significant. What it could be, potentially shards you collect that allow you to make maybe potentially one of the higher level powerful weapons, which I think is a great idea. You want to try to really get these involved, these creatures, because to have a reason to kill them more so because obviously goblins and garus most of the time I think when you're killing them it's because they're in the way of a quest or potentially um in the very beginning obviously the garu packs were not necessarily the garu packs and things like that. You weren't collecting them just for the sake of them being garu packs or anything like that. So let's try to put some of this stuff away. I don't want to waste too much time because obviously we're trying to get things done, and I also don't want to mix up my base incredibly horribly. So let's put the raw food in here. There we go. And then the rest of the stuff I guess I could just throw in here, even though I don't really want to get too crazy and mix things up. Only 11 feathers from killing all those chickens. So I don't even know how I got as many feathers as I did originally. I think it's probably from opening up all my goblin packs ways back to try to get quorum. So that's probably how I got most of my feathers. But then again, I've been collecting feathers for ages since there was no arrows in the game or nothing like that, or bolts or whatnot. I don't even know if bolts require arrows. I don't quite remember. But basically, I wasn't really using my feathers, so that's why I had so many stockpiled, and I could use them with the clean water. But I think really what it comes down to is, I mean, which item are you going to have a ridiculous amount of? Why are you going to have them? And then moving forward, this is another reason why I put so much time into the game and played the game so hardcore, is because ultimately then later you don't have to do that. And you can sort of enjoy new things that come to the game, like all the new cooking recipes. I was sort of able to do all that with ease. I'm able to make crafting stations with ease. Obviously, when the new expansion comes to the game, Hello, I won't be able to do those things. I will have to grind out those resources massively, collect every little thing. That's actually something I should get into in the next episode. Is basically what you can do in Fair Hollow to potentially help yourself maybe be a better player, or not really be a better player, but sort of prepare yourself to enjoy and I guess sort of how to just navigate it, right? Because I think when we first started playing this, you've got so much running through your mind. The excitement, you've got the sense of adventure, and then you've also got like, okay, what do I do? Do I go kill these chickens? Do I try to do a quest? Do I try to get to new resources as fast as I can? What should I be doing? Like, how do I unlock an like an oak axe? That was my thing, or not an oak axe, but I think it's a bone pickaxe, but basically, or bone axe. How do I do all this stuff? Like, I want to cut down an oak tree. Are there any other trees I can cut down? So you're sort of just going through the motions, which I believe a lot of people were, right? And, but the whole thing is there's one constant. You're trying to progress. You're trying to get to the next thing. And I think what sort of happens is you don't necessarily slow down. You're breezing through. But potentially, if when you were doing things in a game, you were picking extra things up here and there, you were grabbing extra red berries, you were doing all these different things, potentially you would have cooked them anyway, right? So potentially, you might not actually have any of it now, unless you were at an XP amount that you just sort of felt comfortable with. But I think it's important to understand that hanging on to things is good if you don't really need them. Don't just cook them to cook them. Oh my gosh, that's an abyssal demon out here. I'm like actually shocked. I don't. He must have wandered in, but from where? Is this like a new spawn? This doesn't make any sense to me. This is actually quite crazy. We've got an archer trying to fight us though, so I wonder if we can do both. I think it's kind of crazy to try to do both, but we're going to try it anyway. This is wild. I don't think I've ever seen an abyssal demon out here. I mean, I haven't. I mean, it's not like, let's question it. It just doesn't make any sense what he's doing out here. It must be a new spawn because this is crazy. But really grateful because those guys give a lot of XP. Probably should have used a different attack style to fight him. But at the same time, that really doesn't make any sense because ultimately, we don't really. I mean, it would have took a lot longer and potentially killed us. So in that regard, I don't think it would have made sense to use another attack style. Look at all the stuff. We've got a gigantic white wolf over here or whatever that. Oh my gosh. Now we're poisoned. There's a lot going on right now. We've got to try to get out of here, at least to get some anti-poison potions so we don't have to die. I don't think we're gonna... I don't know what is going on, but there was way too much there for us to fight. It went from bad to worse quite fast. And I imagine that when we go back, they're all still going to be sitting there. And this could actually make things a little bit challenging. Looks like we've got some of the things here that were there. If we can eliminate them slowly, it will give us a better chance for survival. I don't see them. So it looks like they left, which is good. But ultimately, that was ridiculous. And I guess it makes sense to shoot those down. I don't really want to shoot any more down. So let's go ahead and eat this wild pie. Is that food as well? It is. So we haven't really been drinking, so we're going to have to drink. Let's go ahead and pull out our pickaxe and finish mining because we've only got about 5 lodestones left to do, and this is 2 of them right here. So once we're done with this, that's going to feel pretty good. That was crazy though, to see an abyssal demon. We had the shaman, we had the archer, we had the berserker, we had the I can't even think what it's called, but basically the white wolf, 2 regular wolves, and a terror bird. That's a lot to handle under inner circumstance. So getting poisoned, and obviously the abyssal demon I got to fight alone mostly, except I was an archer fighting me, which was still a little bit difficult. But I like how they've added more of the white wolf or whatnot, and there might be a reason for that. You've got to imagine that there has to be a reason that they would add more of something. I don't remember what gear you actually make with it, but I quite like the gear I'm wearing. The only thing is I don't have the full set because I obviously like to collect lots of resources, so I do lose my set bonus by having the leggings of lightness on, and that is the one downside to that. But I think I'd rather carry more weight than survive, you know, because ultimately I can always just go back to my body. It's really not that big of a deal. I know they were talking about hard mode, and you sort of get one chance, I think it was, to go back to your body and get your stuff. That's really not for me. I feel like if I'm progressing through a game, I want to keep my progress, and whether or not I can survive long enough, being my sort of thing that's going to keep everything that I've worked towards, is not really something I'm into. I feel like if I'm going to invest time into a video game, take away time from other things in life, I'm going to want to be getting progress for what I'm working on, keeping the things that I've done. Obviously, you choose how you want to invest your time, and I don't mind playing RuneScape Dragonwilds. I actually like the game quite a bit, but to basically say, oh, well, if I mess up on this one thing, I'm not going to get to do this other thing, or have this one thing, so it's not really something that's great. Let's see, I'm just going to open this. That might actually make more problems. It did not. I didn't think I can hold all the essence regardless. Let's go ahead and see. I don't think I'm going to be able to hold all of it, which is unfortunate. I really would hate to have to teleport all the way back to base just to grab one more lodestone of essence. I could leave that last one, but I suppose that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave that last one. It's not really a big deal. And we're going to go back to our base and sort of see how much rune essence we have, and then we're going to do an XP update here. So let's put that there. So we've got quite a bit of rune essence. We've got quite a bit of other stuff as well. Just a bunch of random things. Try not to put the food in there because obviously that's got to go in a specific chest. It's so hard to sort of stay grounded and put these things back where they go. That's for sure. Oh, we got some more essence there, so we can go ahead and put that in here. I'm sure we've got more essence in other places as well. We got some here, but let's go check over here. I just want to know. So we don't have any in there. So anyway, let's go ahead and do an XP update and send you guys on your way. So we have 323,000 tech XP. We've got 56,000 ranged XP. Woodcutting 1,002,000. Construction 2,014,000. Runecrafting 950,000. That's crazy. 950,000 runecrafting XP. Magic 124,000. Mining 4,236,000. Artisan 4,127,000. and cooking 453,449. So I think now things have changed. And aside from attack, aside from ranged, and aside from magic, I could easily see a million pretty much in every single skill, at least, except maybe cooking before Valhalla. But I think that might even be possible potentially. I'm not 100% sure. I think at least 600,000 for sure. Um, but anyway, guys, we really enjoy making this content. We hope you guys are enjoying watching it. And hopefully you guys are having fun in your adventures in RuneScape Dragonwilds. And until next time, Legion Nuda out.